And the more windows that we have, the more difficult it is to clean. Just like the more banners that we have, the more physically and emotionally and spiritually or consciously exhausting it is to exist. And I don't like to work that hard. I prefer a harmonious hustle where I am making progress and objective process. I know for certain that the activities and behaviors I am taking part in presently is getting me exactly to where I want to go. Welcome to another episode of the Limitless Life podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Smith, and if you have not done so, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss another podcast. If you love this episode and you want some more tips and tricks on how to improve yourself, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. There are a ton of instructional videos there. You can find the links down below. And today, my friends, I'm very, very excited. Today, I'm going to be doing a solo cast. I'm thinking about doing a podcast episode just with myself every Friday so that I can kind of articulate some kind of perspectives or philosophies or just lessons that I've learned or in essence, amalgamated from a bunch of other people so that I can teach myself how to improve my life as a whole. So it's a pretty cool little adventure. I look at lifetime. This life is a video game, and we just develop the skills. We just take on different attributes over time, and sometimes we collect a lot of things, and we end up with a cognitive clutter. There is no clarity. There's just messiness, right? So that brings us into what we are talking about today, my friends. And we are talking about being bound by banners and the windows that we witness the world through. We look through the windows and we wave the banners we are bound to, and the windows we witness the world through. So going into making it really simple, because I know I can go on a bunch of tangents. So I'm going to try keeping this as simple and articulate as possible so that honestly, I just don't end up losing myself in one of the rabbit holes that I often find myself in. So the first thing that we're going to go through is being bound by banners. Now, what is being bound by banners? It is referring to the labels that we identify with. It is the characteristics and traits that we may consciously or subconsciously adopt by taking on these banners. Why banners? Well, I like the alliterations, bound by banners. You're always going to see me with alliterations just so I can help remember things. It makes it catchy. So if we're bound by banners, we are obligated to defend them. And this could work for us and could also work against us. Oftentimes, if we don't have a very deep understanding of what we are defending, we have a biased perspective or a window that we witness the world through. I'm going to touch on windows real quick. That way it's not going all over the place. But the windows we witness through are the perceptions that we view the world through. The more windows that we have to see through, the harder it is to see. It's more difficult to keep those windows clean. It's a little bit more difficult to maintain a cognitive cleanliness when we are just looking through plane of glass after glass after glass. And if we have too many glasses, then it accumulates dust. So going back to the bound by banners, which I will loop around a couple times, I'm going to do my best to keep things fairly consistent. But anyways, going into the bound by banners, pretty simple. The things that's really important is to just go through your catalog of the things and the characteristics and the traits that you have and where they may have come from. You then get to look at the banner that you wave, the thing that you identify with, the thing that you are willing to go to battle for, and really think deeply whether or not that banner is helping or harming the outcome that you wish to accomplish. Because visualizing what we want to accomplish is one thing, and then having that banner there is cool too. Are we participating actively, not passively, in defending that banner that we decide to wave? If we are not waving the banner, then there's a good chance that we are just passively participating in that kind of identity. We're not doing anything about it. And if we're behaving in alignment, then that's cool too. So it's always very important to always reflect and see if the banners that you currently identify with are, in my mind, this is how I look through it, is, am I willing to go to war? Am I willing to die literally, not just figuratively, not just like conversationally? Am I willing to go to the grave with this particular thought? Is this the banner that I truly wish to wave if it was my day on the field? If I was going to war? Is that the one that I want to represent? Is that the place that I want to be a part of? And what I found is that the less banners that we wave, the less we are bound to, the easier it is for us to see the banners that we wish to choose rather than the banners that have been chosen for us. Because we may be subconsciously taking on the banners just because so-and-so was attached to it and they were a president, premier, professor, parent, principal. It could be any sort of person of authority, paramedic. It could be any sort of person of authority that may have imposed their banner upon us, and then we just have not gone through the process of deciding which banners we should fold up and put into the drawer, and then just cherish that time for the time that it was, and then press on towards banners that are more in alignment to what we want to accomplish in the future. So that's a little snippet on my philosophy on being bound by banners, how to simplify it, how to create cognitive cleanliness, and how to pick the banners that are in alignment with the person you want to become, and my frame of reference as to how I decide whether a banner is important enough, and it's whether I'm willing to go to war for it. Going back to the windows that we witness things through, our perceptions are the world that we view things through. And I really like, and I've talked about this a couple times on the podcast, but I really like Miyamoto Musashi's philosophy or kind of concept of the seeing eye and the observing eye. I like to see it as if, am I looking at it or am I seeing it? Am I looking for something I wish to perceive? Am I having a biased window? Am I looking through a specific tint of glass that I'm trying to find something to support a thought that I have going on? Or am I seeing? Am I seeing what is going on objectively? Am I looking for my subjective existence, or am I seeing the objective world? Those are the ways that I kind of look at the windows, because when we take on another perception, we don't have the windows lining up side by side. The windows line up width by width. And the more windows we have, there's a little space in between each window, and that's in order for us to be able to clean it, to clean those windows so that we can see more clearly, so that we can decrease the smudging, decrease the fingerprints or the dust, or maybe some perceptions we even put a curtain over as is. And sometimes we have to remove those windows in order to clean up our perception. And the more windows that we have, the more difficult it is to clean. Just like the more banners that we have, the more physically and emotionally and spiritually or consciously exhausting it is to exist. And I don't like to work that hard. I prefer a harmonious hustle where I am making progress and objective process. I know for certain that the activities and behaviors I am taking part in presently is getting me exactly to where I want to go. That was that one part. I just forgot the other part, but that's okay. But there is the thought of having all these different windows, and we got to clean these windows. If I remember my other point, then I'll get back to it, but I just don't right now. But these windows that we got to clean, the more of them that we have, the more difficult it becomes to clean, and the more draining it is to actually keep up the cleanliness. It becomes just too much effort, too much work. All right, so I was saying that I don't want to do that much work, so I try to remove those planes of glass, as many as I can, so long as the planes of glass that I am witnessing the world through is in alignment with the person that I want to become. Everything's forecasted into the future. My banners and my windows are not in alignment with who I see myself as presently. They're in alignment with the person that I wish to see myself as in the future. And I know I go on like these little like word jumbly mumbly blah 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 blah. And to be frank, it is just because it's easier for me to remember that and keep myself accountable to the words and the actions and the behaviors that I wish to embody. So that brings me into a third point that I didn't think I was going to get into, but I'm on kind of on a roll with this one. And also let me know if you enjoy this kind of style. I really enjoy talking and shooting the shit. And I think I have some pretty neat philosophies and concepts that are simplified to the point where it's just so simple to create a place of existence that you feel fulfilled and joyful in. And I think that it is a repeatable thing. There is a tactic to it, and I think that that's an important place to spread. It's very important news and information to spread because there's more people that are having more difficulties than ever before. But at the same time, we have all of these opportunities, and dialing in the mind, dialing in our mental methods and our mental masteries and our mindsets and mental frameworks, we're able to really feel fulfilled and joyful in the process of whatever we're taking on in this lifetime. And so these are just methods that I found that works the best for me. Also, if you have any issues with procrastination, in the description below, I have my procrastination guide so that you don't need to procrastinate at all anymore. It is super, super cool. I really, really, really dig it. It is my step-by-step guide to kill distraction and create traction. So yeah, if you want to check that out, be sure to check it out. But going into the last part that I wanted to chat about, it is the difference between functioning and non-functioning opinions. And I like to categorize things because I truly believe that there is a duality to almost anything on the planet or in the universe. There's always a duality. If one exists, then the opposite exists. So if at any point in time, we're trying to make a decision, we just break it down into two categories and we weigh out the pros and cons, or we split it up into a 51-49% split on making a decision. So the concept of functioning and non-functioning opinions are a way for me to monitor my internal dialogue so that I am saying things to myself, either consciously or subconsciously, in alignment, once again, with the person that I wish to become or the person I wish to embody, so that I can take those characteristics, traits, all those things that I wish to take on and then have it in the present. So a functioning opinion, super, super simple. It is something that helps you. It is something that helps you in the process of getting what you want. A non-functioning opinion is an opinion that will harm your chances of getting what you want. That's it. And the reason that I make it so blunt is so that I don't allow ambiguity or a little wiggle room for me to fall back into non-functioning opinions. So a non-functioning opinion that I would have is, if you look at my school grades back in the day, they were not that good. There was no indicator of me, in my mind, with my non-functioning opinion, having any sort of smarts or wits. But I just learned over time, by switching up my behaviors as well and becoming aware that I did not want to have that non-functioning opinion, I shifted it over. Functioning opinion. How is it that I am witty or witful or smart or intelligent, or what is the best method for me to learn, for me to be able to retain information? Then I was able to get rid of my non-functioning opinion. You're not that smart. And then I was able to adopt a functioning opinion. You are smart, capable. You got a mind, you have thoughts, you have articulation, you can organize, you can create. And the reason that I went on that little tangent of like the things that I could do is because I have more functioning opinions than non-functioning opinions, and that is created by design. I don't want non-functioning opinions or belief systems, or as they call it, it's belief systems, to weigh me down in any way. If I can change the thoughts actively and participate in the activities that will be in alignment with what I want to accomplish, then those are functioning opinions. They're absolutely fantastic. Non-functioning opinions is anything that makes you doubt yourself. Any moment that you feel or sense any doubt after you've said a sentence, that is a non-functioning opinion and should be eliminated immediately. It should not even be in your vocabulary. It should not even be in your automatic system of the habitual thoughts that we have day to day. A majority of our thoughts, if we have on average 60,000 thoughts per day, a majority of those thoughts are on repeat. Let's say even 10% of those were regular thoughts. Most of our thoughts are repeat all the time. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And if we don't keep track of the things that we repeatedly say, then we repeatedly do whatever is in alignment with that non-functioning opinion, which is not in alignment with where we want to go. And that doesn't work. It's non-functioning. There's no function to having such a sentence in our systems. So eliminate. That is the simplest thing that I think to do. And I truly believe, and if you're someone that feels as though it's like, oh, but I need permission to do things for myself, in the sense of you adopted opinions that are non-functioning, but you've just decided to keep them because you're just so used to them. You have permission to let go of it. You don't have to keep something that's not helping you or that's non-functioning. That's just silly. If anything, shift it over to the opposite. Try to create functioning opinions that are in alignment with the character you wish to embody, that you visualize, that you believe that you could become. You just aren't there yet. So, real quick recap on that. Bound by banners. The banners that we are willing to die for are the banners that we should fight for. The windows that we witness through are the perceptions we choose to look at the world through. The more windows we have, the more time it takes to clean them. The more we have to clean, the less likely we are to do it. We'll put it off as long as we can. Then, functioning and non-functioning opinions. Opinions that either help or harm progress towards the best version of you. Bound by banners, windows we witness through, functioning and non-functioning opinions. These have been very, very, very helpful tactics in my in creating frameworks that definitely serve me. Like I'm presently in a state of peace and harmony and tranquility that I never thought I'd be able to imagine. I understand myself to a degree that I'm just scratching the surface. And it's a beautiful place to be. And it's something that I truly believe, as a banner that I am bound to, as a window I'm willing to witness through, and as a functioning opinion, I'm convinced every human being has the capability of tapping into a creativity of cognitive clarity and captivating consciousness, that the possibility of what someone can do is truly endless. And that's why I call the podcast the Limitless Life Podcast, because I truly believe that I am there, and I wish for you to be there too. So, in saying that, that's what I've got for you in today's episode. And if you love today's episode, please do me a favor right now. Take a screenshot, share it to your Instagram stories, tag me with my handle @DapperDudeKyle. That is one of the ways that this podcast will grow. And until next time, keep up the kindness, and I hope your day treats you as good as you look.